And long story short, I never smoked another cigarette ever again. A little better you. If you have a bad habit that you want to get rid of, but you just can't seem to find the right way to do so, or you just can't gather enough motivation to even try. I'm talking about a bad habit like smoking or any kind of addiction, then this is something you definitely need to hear. I want to tell you about a theory that's really fundamental in the field of psychology by the founder of individual psychology. This guy was big. His name is Carl Jung. If you don't know who he is, just look him up. And this theory is called secondary gain. He believes that every single behavior or symptom, even though it may seem negative on the surface, there's always an underlying benefit, and more often than not, this benefit is subconscious. What does it even mean? I'll tell you a story. Most of my friends and family don't know this about me, but I had been a smoker for, more than 2 decades. I first started smoking when I was 13. I came to Australia on my own when I was 17, and the moment I realized I was completely away from home and my parents could not control me anymore, the first thing I did, I went and bought a pack of cigarettes. So I've been smoking all that many years. I knew that was a bad habit, right? My teeth were tarnished. I was getting inflammation in my throat all the time. And I knew I was setting a really bad example for my daughter. She really didn't need to have a second example of a parent smoking. My husband is already a smoker. So this conflict inside of me was bringing me a lot of negative emotions. I was feeling guilty. I was feeling shameful. I could not admit to other people that I was a smoker. So I was hiding all the time, and all that additional stress I was putting on myself. Despite all of that, I could not shake off the habit. I tried to quit a few times, and I was successful a couple times too, but still somehow this disgusting habit would sneak back. I would get extremely tempted when I see people smoke. Even the sight of a lighter would trigger me. Until about 4 months ago, a fellow coach offered me a really special deal to quit smoking. I thought, okay, well, it's a deal. I'll just try it again. But actually, I was feeling this resistance. I was like, deep down, I don't want to quit smoking. During the session, my friend asked me to tune into the area where I wanted to smoke. So for me, it was my throat. While asking it, what is it that you want to get when you smoke? What makes you really want to smoke so much? For the first few minutes, I just completely had no idea. And to a point, I was irritated by the question. But being a really experienced coach, my friend persisted in that situation. She just stayed there and she kept asking me the same question. What is it that you really want to get out of the smoking? What makes you really want to smoke? I think we were there for about 10 minutes. Just on that same question, 10 minutes, and I had all these resistance coming up, and then all of a sudden I had this huge breakthrough. It felt like a lightning struck me, it was like a flash, just lit inside of my brain. Something just snapped. I had flashbacks back when I was 13. I was isolated at school. I had no friends, and I was constantly laughed at because I was overweight. So I was really lonely, and I was feeling completely out of control, really powerless. At the same time, my father, he was climbing up the social ladder, and he was actually gaining office. So every night we had loads and loads of guests simply to talk to him, wanting to get some advice from him or wanting just to get some power play or whatever. It was too much to understand for the 13-year-old me. But I was observing these people, these men, grown-up men, puffing off smokes in the lounge room talking. And I felt that they possessed this strong power, especially my father. And it was that flashback of the memory gave me the insight, oh my God, the reason I started smoking in the beginning was that I wanted to imitate my father to get a piece of that power taste because I was feeling so powerless. And the funny thing was this, as soon as I had that thought, I knew somehow in my mind that I would not need to smoke another cigarette ever again in my life. Because as soon as that subconscious benefit, that secondary gain of smoking surfaced up to the conscious level, my mind knew rationally that smoking would not give me that power that I wanted, but not smoking, quitting smoking would make me super powerful. And long story short, I never smoked another cigarette ever again. Every time I saw a pack of cigarette or lighter, it just reminded me of how powerful I was without having to smoke. So my question to you is, have you got any habit or behaviors that everybody is saying are good for you, but you just cannot let go? If you do, you might want to try coaching to discover what that secondary gain is from that behavior.